Today is the first day of the NFL football season, regular season, so it's going to be we'll be having some fun along the way, right? No one's going to talk trash about my team. All right, now, we did this 2 warm-ups ago. Yesterday you should have put sub because I had an appointment. But you should be able to solve for y just like we did 2 days ago. When we solve for y, what do I need to move first here? What's the whole thing? Not just 3, but... Okay, so we need to get rid of the negative 3x by doing plus 3x. Does that sound familiar from 2 days ago? So I'm going to put plus 3x here, plus 3x here. These cancel out. What do I bring down on the left side? Negative 5y. Very good. Now, don't goof up. What's 20 plus 3x? You could write it as just 20 plus 3x, or usually we have it the other way around, as mx plus b. It'll be a 3x plus 20. Usually this goes in front. But I said this 2 days ago, I'll say it again. It is not 23. It is not 23x. They do not combine because they are not like terms, right? So let's write that 3x plus 20. And then, okay. And then my last step, how do I get rid of that negative, what the heck? Negative 5 in front of y? Divide by negative 5. Divide by the exact same number in front of the variable, which is y. Now, everything gets divided by that negative 5. Those negative 5s cancel out, and we get y equals. Now, 3 divided by negative 5. If you were to type it in the calculator and press Control-Enter, you could get a decimal, but usually we see slope as a fraction. So you can leave like that. 3 over negative 5 is the same thing as negative 3 over 5. That's a reduced fraction. Don't forget the x, and then what's 20 divided by negative 5? Negative 4, so minus 4. Okay? Now, you have your objective. You have your warm-up. Yes. Okay, and so you have all that. Now, don't forget how to solve for y, because you definitely got to be able to do solving for a variable on today's notes. Notes today. Now, I'm gonna be as honest as I can. This is kind of brutal stuff, but I made the assignment shorter than normally would. Okay. And maybe if y'all are nice, I'll show you a shortcut in a minute here. Bam. All right. Here we go. Now, looking at this box, how does that look? Does it look difficult? Whether it's difficult or not, it does look like a lot of steps, right? And again, I'm going to be honest. Substitution, solving a system of equations with substitution is a lot of steps. And the more steps there are, the more opportunity to make a mistake. And so this stuff can be kind of tough. But we're going to do our best to show you the way. And then maybe I'll show you a shortcut. Maybe. Okay, so is everyone, except for my testing people, is everyone looking up here, not on your phone, not zoning out, because I don't want to lose you on this, okay? Now, I know there's a lot of stuff, but off to the side, here are our steps. So when we do systems of equations, first of all, what is a system of equations? Let me tell you. If you have one equation, that's not a system. But if you have 2 equations, that's a system. So you see how they have 2 equations on top of each other on this example? That's a system. System is more than one. Okay? Now, here's how you solve a system of equations. Off to the right here, it says you're going to solve one of the equations for x or y. Sometimes it's already x equals or y equals. That's a nicer, a little bit easier problem. But first step, if you need to, solve for x or y on one equation, and then you take that and you plug it into the other equation. You substitute into the other equation. Okay. Step 3, once you have plugged it in, you simplify it down into one of the variables, and then you take that and you plug it back into the equation to get your other variable. Okay? So do you see how this is a lot of solving, substituting, simplifying over and over and over? Okay? It is a lot of steps, so let's just jump into this. Oh, and here's another way to do it off to the right, but let's just get down here to number 1. Okay? All right, first thing you want to think about, are either of these equations x equals or y equals? Yes. Does everyone see this y equals right here? That means this will be a slight bit easier. Okay. When you see a y equals or an x equals. So like look at number 2. You see how number 2 doesn't have an x or y equals? We'll have an extra step or 2 on that one. Okay. But let's stick with number 1. I see y equals. Now, I think and I hope y'all know how to do substitution, but that means you replace something. You substitute, right? Now, if I know y equals 6x minus 11, then that means I can put 6x minus 11 where I see y on the other equation. Does that kind of make sense? Y is this, so where I see y, I'm going to put that expression, 6x minus 11. Does that make sense? Especially if you're not looking at me. Y equals this, so this goes where I see y. Now, let's rewrite that second equation. Negative 2x minus 3. Instead of y, I'm going to put parentheses, 6x minus 11. Equals negative 7. Now I've only done one step, but I know that's kind of weird. So I want to make sure everyone understands. If you don't understand what I just did, let me know so I can explain it again. Y has to equal that. So where y is, I put that. Do you see how y went away, turned into the other part of the equation? Are y'all silently understanding or confused? That's all I need to know. Okay, now, if you can substitute, now this is can be tough. You have to simplify it. So how do I PEMDAS this thing? What do I do first? Okay, parentheses on the inside, there's nothing, but if there's something on the outside, I need to do that thing. What's it called? Distribution. So let's do, and by the way, what's in front of the parentheses? What number is that? Negative 3. Yeah, negative 3. So negative 3 times 6x is what? Negative 18x. And then negative 3 times negative 11. So negative times negative should give us positive what? 33. Okay. So far, I substituted. Now I distributed. I need to bring everything else down. So the negative 2x comes out in front. The equals negative 7 comes after. Okay. Now, I need to solve for x. There's a lot of stuff here. Are there any like terms I can combine over here? Negative 2x and negative 18x. So what's negative 2 minus 18? Yes, negative 20. I'm sleepy, sorry. It is negative 20. X, don't forget the x. Bring down plus 33 equals negative 7. Okay, now, I need to solve for x. I need to get rid of which one first? Before that, I want to get rid of what I call the loner, the plus 33. Okay. The opposite of plus 33 is minus 33. Hey, off your phone. Look over here. Minus 33, minus 33. Now, bring down negative 20x equals, and negative 7 minus 33. Negative 40, and then my last step. How do I get rid of the negative 20 in front of x? Divide by what? Negative 20, okay? Don't forget to divide by the exact same number. And then what's negative 40 divided by negative 20? 2. Now that was a lot, right? All right. And we're done, right? We're not even halfway done with this problem. Isn't that funny? Like, ha ha ha, and then you like cry a tear. Okay, now here's the deal. I know. But I got to show you. I'm doing my best. Now, here's the deal. We did all this, and this is the shorter version because you already had y equals. Anyways, so you did all this stuff to find x. But guess what you got to find now? Y. Okay? So here's the deal. We're going to take that x equals 2, and we're going to substitute it into this equation up here. Okay? So let me show you. I'm going to rewrite this equation down here.
So we pretty much have to redo the equation.
You re-plug it in, yes. So here's that original equation. I know x equals 2, so I'm going to put 2 where that x is. A parentheses 2. Okay? So instead of x, I'm going to put 6 parentheses 2 minus 11. Do you see how I replaced x with 2? So it's substituted. And now I just do some math. What's 6 times 2? 12, and then minus 11 is 1. Yeah, okay. Not that bad. Once you have one variable, you just plug it in. It's a little bit shorter. Now, if I have x and I have y, you write your answer as an ordered pair, like a point, x comma y in parentheses. Okay? So here's my final answer. Ready? Parentheses, 2 comma 1 parentheses. That is the solution to that system of equations. Okay? Remember, a system is two lines, so wherever they cross is a point, and that point is the solution. No. So we're gonna do number 2 together because I want to show you how to do it when it's not y equals already. Okay? Now, how are we feeling so far? Oh my gosh. All right. How do y'all feel about this? Does it look doable? Difficult but doable, or impossible and it's crazy? Difficult. Okay. I agree it's difficult. It's difficult to teach because I get it. It's just like, okay. Now let's do number 2. 2 might be a little bit longer, but it's kind of the same idea. Okay, ready? Step 1 on number 2. All right, on this one, I need one of these equations to be x equals or y equals. Are they x equals or y equals yet? Not yet, okay? Now let me tell you, the easiest thing you can do is find a variable by itself. So the only one that's by itself is this x right here. You see that? So if we can solve for this x, then we're good to go, okay? And we'll keep going. So I'm going to take that first equation, and I'm going to solve it for x. So I'm going to just bring it over here, bring it around town. X plus 3y equals 1. If I solve that for x, what do I need to move over? The positive 3y. How do I get rid of a positive 3y? Negative or subtract. So minus 3y, minus 3y. So x equals, now 1 minus 3y is not 2, not negative 2, not 3, not negative 3, not negative 2y, not 2y, not negative 3y, not 3y. None of those, okay? Because they do not combine. Remember? A number and a variable, you put them next to each other. And I do like to still put it in front. So negative 3y plus 1. Cool. Now that we have an equation solved for one variable, we can plug that into the other equation right there. So once I have x equals, it can go into the other equation where I see x. Okay? Hey, how you learning this over there on that phone? Now, I'm going to rewrite that equation. -3, but instead of x, what am I putting? -3y plus 1. We just solved for x, right? X equals this thing. So that's what's going to go into this x. Bring down the rest of it. -3y equals -15. I'll stop for a second so y'all can get that down and let's recap. Let's recap. The first equation, we solved for a variable, x, right? So I got rid of the y, I put it in front, x equals. Then I took it to the other equation, and I replaced x with what it equals. I took that, and I put it there, and I got this. Okay, now I got to distribute this and simplify this. So again, distribute into that parentheses. What is -3 times -3y? So a negative times a negative will give you a positive what? 9y. Okay, so -3 times -3y is and what's -3 times +1? -3. And then I bring down -3y equals -15. All right, that's a lot. Next step, if I have more than one like term, I want to combine like terms. What terms can I combine there? The y's. Okay, so the 9y and the -3y. What's 9y minus 3y? What's 9y minus 3y? What's 9 minus 3?
I don't know. So why are you looking at me like that? You're freaking like, you're looking at me weird.
I'm just asking you for 9 minus 3.
Well, I don't know.
Yes, you do. 6y. All right. And then I'm going to bring down what? Kind of. Okay, but -3 comes down. Bring down, and then also bring down equals -15. All right. So I know we can combine like terms, right? All right. Now, before we divide, okay, this is a two-step equation. We want to get rid of this loner. How do I get rid of that -3? +3, right? The 3's cancel out. I'm going to bring down 6y equals, what's -15 plus 3? -12. And now we divide, because 6 and y are being multiplied because it's a coefficient. How do I get rid of that 6? We divide by 6, and -12 divided by 6 is -2. Okay. Oh, all that work, and we're done, right? We just found the y. Now we got to find the x, okay? All right, so here's what we can do. Just take one of these equations. I'm going to take the original one. And I'm going to put y equals right there, okay? I'm writing that original equation. I'm going to plug in -2 for y. So I'm going to replace y with a parentheses -2. So it's going to look like this. X plus 3 parentheses 2 equals 1. So let's do the math there. What do I do first? Multiply? What do I multiply? 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Bring down equals 1. And my last step, to get x by itself, how do I get rid of that minus 6? Adding 6 to both sides. So x equals 1 plus 6 is 7, okay? Okay, after all that work, I have an x, I have a y, and I'm going to write it as an ordered pair. So x goes first, y goes second. It should be 7, comma, negative 2. Okay, so breathe after that one. What do you think about that? Are those doable? I'm going to show you all a trick that you might miss if you're not here. Okay, now, if I gave you, now, by the way, usually I try to make these two-sided, but I felt really nice. Should I have? I don't know. Because y'all make fun of my football team, like it's not a big deal, okay? Okay, but anyways. Now, what if I told you there is a way on your calculator to check your work? Wouldn't that be helpful? Okay, so we're going to check our work on number 1. Ready? I'm going to pull up my calculator. All right, here's number 1. Go ahead and press on. Y'all really want to know this, so you really want to do this with me with your yellow calculator, right? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to do a new calculator, so you're going to press, make sure you're on the on screen, the home screen, press number 1 for a new document. If it asks you to save, say nah. And then number 1, is a calculator. So press number 1. You should have this blank white screen. Everything's nice and squeaky clean. Now, you can write this down on your notes somewhere. That would be really good to know. The buttons that you press are okay. Hold on 1 second. All right, it's menu 3, 2. Do y'all remember menu 3.1, end solve, if you have an equation? Maybe? Well, menu 3.2 is when you have 2 equations, okay? So go ahead and press menu 3, and you're going to press number 2, and you should get this little box. Let me know if you don't have this little box when you press menu 3.2. Okay, now this is asking you how many equations are there. Some system of equations are 3 equations or more, but we just have 2 equations, so that's good. And then if the variables are x and y, that's pretty standard, so you can just press OK, all right? Right? Now, when you press menu 3.2 and then you press OK, do you see how it gives you 2 boxes? In each of those boxes, you're going to put 1 equation. 1 equation on top, 1 equation on the bottom. Let's check number 1. Ready? Press OK. So, in this top box, I'm going to start typing in the first equation. Y equals 6x minus 11. Here we go. Y equals 6x minus 11. Okay. And then once you have the first equation typed in, go down to the next box, type in the second equation, negative 2x minus 3y equals negative 7. So what did I press? Menu 3.2. Hit OK. Fill in the 2 boxes with the 2 equations. And if you press OK, or enter, sorry, you should get a solution. Now yours may not say x equals y equals if you're actually doing it. It may actually just give it to you as an ordered pair. Where's your calculator? What are y'all doing? Here show me what you get when you get it. The x comma y part stays the same. It's just those two boxes you fill in with the equations. But for mine, do you see how it matches? X is 2, y is 1. That's what I got here. X is 2, y is 1. Right? Would you all agree that this is a good way to check your work, right? Now, I have to teach you how to substitute. And you see how long it can get. So, try to substitute, but you can always check your work this way. The only reason why you couldn't do that is if for some reason they changed the calculators into like a testing mode that doesn't allow it, okay? Which is possible, but not yet, okay? So let's go up here and see what we did. 6x minus 11. So this is negative 7, not negative y. So make that a 7, and then hit enter. Boom. Yeah, so when you get your answers on the calculator, it's like in brackets, 2, 1, which is the way you want to write it. Okay? So, that's that. So you could check number 2, and then you could flip it over, and you could try number 3 and 4 on the back, check it with this is called, it's not insult, it's like solve a system. Anyways, so menu 3-2 to check your work, but y'all can try the 2 on the back. Now this is notes that you're going to keep. Okay, but the assignment will be tomorrow. We're not going to pass it out just yet. Okay? Yes. Okay? So if I were you, I would try it on the back. Try the substitution. Okay? Because it'd be really good if you knew how to do that, because you might be in a situation where you need to substitute. Okay? I'm going to do this a little faster. Bring this down. Actually, we're just going to solve this one, getting rid of the y. And then we divide by the coefficient. And then we're going to plug that in right here. So let's actually write this equation down here. Negative 3x minus 4y equals 2. If x equals this, then this is going to get plugged in right there. Distribute that negative 3. Combine like terms. Divide by negative 1. And then we plug that back into the second equation. 3x plus 3y equals negative 3. Y equals 1 is going to go there. And then we divide. Alright, and then this one, let's solve this one for y. Add 5x. Y equals 5x minus 2. Plug that in right there. So we're going to end up, getting 0 divided by anything is 0. Hold on one second. happens. So I cannot draw. What's going on here? Try this again. Right. 0 over 27. Well, which equals 0. You can write 0. And then plug that back into the original. Have a good day, y'all. This goes here. Negative 5 times 0 plus y equals negative 2. 0, so y equals negative 2. Your x and your y are going to be 0, comma, negative 2.